There's a problem with EasyDub Studios. If you don't know what EasyDub Studios is, they're the development team that created Sword Mayhem and Pirate Mayhem. In fact, some of you may recognize Pirate Mayhem, considering it has a much larger player count. However, there's been a serious problem with the moderation team for the past couple bans. Now, of course, I acknowledge the latest ban was about half a month ago, and there have been a few things that have changed as of late, which I'll get to later. Also, before I get into the problem, I'd like to take the time to ask that you guys do not harass anyone mentioned in the video. Anyways, I'll be breaking this down to a few parts, starting with part 1. Starting off with the communication problem. The staff needs major improvement in this area based on previous history of the bans. In 3 of the most recent bans of a few prominent community members, I've had to inform them of why they were banned, with minimal information presented to me at the time. It shouldn't fall onto the players' shoulders to tell people why they were banned, especially with minimal information. Now, with the second ban that I had to communicate on their part, I explicitly stated to a moderator, them being called CC, for them to do better next time, because, again, it shouldn't fall onto anyone other than the moderators to tell people what they're banned for. The third and most recent ban, the exact same stuff happened with the last 2 bans had happened with this ban, with only 1 point of evidence to support it this time. In addition to other community members, especially some of the moderators, doing much worse stuff previously, and blatantly, while not getting banned for any of it. Now, the bans that I had to act as a medium in were the bans of Codex, Cier, and Duelist. In this part of the video, I'll be interviewing all of them about their bans, starting with the Codex. I got a few questions for you.
I'd be happy to answer them.
What do you think of your ban, the initial and still somewhat ongoing censorship behind it?
So, I feel like the moderation team, they had like a sort of personal vendetta against me. I think that they sort of fabricated a lot of the stuff, or not. I wouldn't necessarily say fabricated. I'd say more. They made it more than it was. They made it out to be way worse than it actually was.
So, there are people in the document that did a lot worse things than what you did, even though it's focused around you. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yes, I do. I actually feel pretty strongly about that one because if they had actually confronted me about it initially, I would have been able to show them that I had actually banned the people who were saying these things in my clan. I initially banned them, only to find out that they were unbanned by another one of the leaders. He will not go named. But he unbanned him. I talked to him about it, and he's like, I talked to another leader that will not go named. This is the problem with having 6 leaders in a clan. Yeah, he told me that he talked to another one about it, and so I asked him. He has no idea what I'm talking about, and it was pretty much just I was lied to by one of my clanmates about the unban. So it appears to everybody else that I didn't do anything about it, but I did.
Do you think your ban was potentially incentivized by the increasing tensions between your clan and moderator's clan, called Warriors of the Storm?
Um, Honestly, yeah, I don't think it's coincidental that it kind of happened at around the same time, you know? Um, I feel like since tensions were rising, um, they sort of had a sort of epiphany like, hey, these guys are kind of rivaling us. We kind of gotta get rid of them. We want to be on top, right? And that, my evidence for that is really just because of the fact that the day after my ban was an update that was originally supposed to be the clan's update, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang. I'm actually not sure when the clan's update came, but that's a little off topic. I still have a couple more questions. What do you think of
Hmm.
the, I'm going to call them pedestrian allegations?
Yeah. Um, so that was part of the moderator's incapability of communicating with people. Um, had they approached me about it, or at least actually gotten their facts right, then they would have realized that even if me and Zoma like were genuinely like had feelings about each other, or it was one way or whatever, that we're both in our respective countries, we fulfill the age of consent requirements, meaning it wouldn't even be a problem. And even if it was, there's no jurisdiction there, so they can't actually call it a problem. I mean, it's it's backless. Other than the screenshots of the jokes that we made towards each other, which mostly me, but towards each other, um, which again are just jokes. I don't know a single teenage guy that has not made a cool joke to another teenage guy before.
Yeah, I've actually made a few myself, but I feel like you probably shouldn't have made those in a Discord server where related to a very sensitive staff, though.
Yeah, that's probably got. Yeah, I don't disagree with that because it's just really if I'm like that is my public image for the server is in that clan, and like I wouldn't be doing anything by making those jokes in the server other than just messing it up.
Well, here's the final question I got for you.
Yep.
So, now that you're older, do you think you've learned from this ban, and in the event that you get unbanned and decide to rejoin the community for whatever reason, to not make the same mistakes again?
So that depends on if the administration has changed. If the like staff team is pretty much entirely different, I would consider coming back. But if I come back with this current staff team, I already know what's going to happen. They're going to find another reason to ban me. I think they, that's what I think it is. I think they just looked for things that they could take out of context to have me banned because of their own personal vendetta. That's why they didn't communicate it with me because had they communicated with me, I would have been able to dismantle every piece of quote evidence that they had and found myself innocent.
Yeah, no. I actually agree with you on this because I believe the moderators were also trying to find a reason to ban me, or make me at least look bad from Legions of
Is that
Clans.
right?
I'm sure you know that. When I first
Hmm.
invited you, all the
Oh yeah.
yeah, all the stuff about me asking to add you and stuff were like deleted, but the person who did it did a really sloppy job, and I managed to get evidence that made me not look bad, or at least terrible.
If we're still on the record, would you mind naming who did that?
I have no idea who did it. The name might be on the screenshots, but yeah, I'll go check later. Uh,
Hmm.
but
Yep.
I'll tell you on my own time.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much the interview. You got any last words?
Um, I don't know what I did for everybody to dislike me other than be mildly egotistical.
Right.
That's about it.
Codex also unfortunately didn't get to mention this in the interview, but he wanted to also add that the Crescent Rose model is the exact same as the Reaper Scythe in Decaying Winter. Although, I'd also like to mention, this is just one of 3 prominent players that have been banned from the game. So I'd like to move on to the other 2, now moving on to Cier. Cier, what do you think of your temporary ban? And do you think the sudden investigation was warranted?
I'm not entirely too crazy about the temp ban as of now, but back then I was starting to lose it. Well, yeah, when I first gotten banned from the game, I was just like, what do you mean investigation? Don't tell me I lost all that progress and grinded all the way up here for nothing. Literally being one of the best players and all.
What do you think about the doc that was created about you and the evidence that wasn't about Easy Dub Studios at all?
I mean, genuinely felt violated from that entire doc, even though it wasn't really a doc. It was just more like, what, a
It
3-page
was basically
thing?
like half a page without the images.
Basically, yeah. Like, there was just, yeah, I just straight up felt violated, and this wasn't the first time I felt violated. Back in January, I had this little issue where I felt violated so much, it just... Oh, right, no, we're fine. Yeah, that was just me.
Yeah, anyway. So opinions on the moderator's hasty actions in your temporary ban?
Well, I don't really think they're that bad. It's just sometimes they can be both hypocritical and, they rush to conclusions really easily. And I mean, I don't blame them, but I feel like it could have been treated in a better way rather than just straight up just rushing into the situation, you know?
Uh, yeah. What about the moderator's punishment of being warned not to do it again? Do you think it should have been more severe? Because I'm pretty sure that's all they were. That's the only punishment, I believe.
Well, considering I'm not as harsh as most people think I can be, but in any ways, I feel like it should have been a lot, and I mean a lot more severe. Because, like, not only that only affects the community, but also individuals as well. But honestly, when it comes to something like a t-shirt, a simple t-shirt, yeah, nah, that definitely is a really dumb way to just
Yeah,
ban
it wasn't
someone.
related to Easy Dub Studios, but I wouldn't exactly say it was the most appropriate stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think they should probably just be stripped of moderation or admin perms if they did something like that. Or maybe worse, they could be kicked out of EDS and just never to return again. They could still play the game, but, they won't have their perms, they won't be in the game. I mean, they will still be in the game. They can still play it, but I mean, like, yeah, if it's something extremely stupid like that, that just needs to be disintegrated into quantumly obliterated into utter nothingness, am I right?
I mean, they do ban avatars, though. I might have to censor that word in the video. But they do
Yeah, I mean,
quote unquote pedestrian avatars. I'm gonna call it that.
yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of weird avatars on Sword Mayhem as well. Like, you see those, like, giant, messy ones. But again, I mean, it's hard to tell if a person's doing something wrong or not, even if it just doesn't look, normal. But even then, I mean, there was this one guy that was talking... Oh, wait, no, I'm going off topic again, my bad. Also, continue.
Basically, I kind of agree with the moderation for the inappropriate stuff, but I also don't, considering you weren't really using the inappropriate stuff, especially not
Yeah,
on Sword Mayhem or anything related to Easy Dub Studios.
exactly.
I think that was a huge overreaction on their part, but
Basically.
yeah.
Oh, can I also point this out? Because, like, if you're still watching this video, subscribe to Firecart. He definitely needs the subs.
I totally agree that you should like and subscribe. Anyway, I agree with the moderation that he didn't really have the best avatar, but it was mostly because his avatar was designed around R15, not R6 like the game has it set to. I also agree with him that he shouldn't have gotten banned just because of an item he happened to have in his inventory and never used, as well as unrelated evidence. Yo, what's up? But yeah, I have a few questions for you. So, basically, let's see. So, Duelist, what do you think of your ban reason and the, with it being the weird joke you made in Easy Dub Studios? What do you think of that? Dramatic? Is that all? Dang. I assume you got banned for the worst stuff though, right? So like, just kind of shows how, sensitive the moderation team is, I guess. What do you think of the escalation from the moderation team going from your original punishment to the permanent ban? What do you think of that? I also kind of agree, because I think part of that reason... Yeah, And I agree with that, because I believe part of that reason was also because, for some reason, like, toxicity from, like, what, 2022? That was 3 years ago. And, let's see. Do you think the moderation team should have banned you for that joke in the prior toxicity you had years ago, or was this unjust? And can you explain why, if possible? Are you able to explain why it was unjust? Alright. Please explain. I was only given a ban by Cyberbox from the server. Dang. That's crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like, and actually, funnily enough, that's also what happened with most of the in-game clans, too. You aren't in them right now. Now here's, my final question for you. So, what is your opinions on the sensitivity of the moderation team? Do you think there should just be a total dude team? There's none? Dang. Oh! Dang. That's crazy. Yeah. I think, do you think there should be a new moderation team? Alright. Do you think, who do you think would be a good picks for the new mod team? This will probably be the final question. Dang. Yeah, I agree. Builder's definitely competent mod at. He's probably the most competent of them all. But yeah. Thanks for your time. That's pretty much it for this interview. I'd say that him including himself as a good moderator would be a bit egotistical if he wasn't so good at digging up things on other people and such. But he's been banned before, and most of his worst things that he did previously should have been forgotten, but weren't, and played a surprisingly large factor in his most recent ban as well. Admittedly, I'll give him some credit where it's due, because one of the trial moderators made an appeals server. Now, I'd like to emphasize a trial moderator, and not an actual moderator, to appeal bans and report players. However, this server came like 3 years too late, as it's possible that dozens of other people got unfairly permanently banned by the moderator's hasty fuse. Now, one of the good moderators, named Peanut, also seems to have permanently left the moderation team for the time being because of how they acted as well. I'd also like to point out that the trial moderators do their job much better than the rest of the actual moderators, surprisingly. Like Builder, who is an excellent example of this, and is normally online, and, in addition to this, will try to deal with bans reasonably and logically when possible. Now, this is the end of the video. And I'd like to encourage that you don't harass any of the moderation, or anyone mentioned in this video. If you made it this far, I encourage you to press the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel a bunch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.